What's up? What's up? What's up? If you tuning in, yes, it is I, Camo the Man, kicking it with my man Two Phone Tone. Well, yup, you guessed it. Another episode of the Afterthoughts, I think it is. I'm high.
I believe so.
I'm drinking. I'm smoking. I'm in that ocean. Tone, what you
Like
been up
Billy,
to, Brody? Ah,
been chilling for real. Been chilling for real, smoking some good medical. You feel me?
okay.
Just been meditating, my brother. You feel me?
Which speaking of medical federal, what you inform the listeners of what you smoking on?
Some of this Hennessy OG over here, and some of this Cherry Blossom OG. You feel me?
It's gonna be a special episode. I got some of this
Uh,
blue cheese still puffing on that, and
okay, okay.
we're just gonna try to inspire a couple of the listeners right now since it's laid back. We chilling. I wanted to ask you, what helps you stay at your creative edge, Tone? Like, what's that one thing that you need to like, get in that zone or feel like you at the peak of your creativity? Not the peak, but when you in that creative flow. Because I know earlier we was
Uh,
talking and you were saying you were back painting, got the little notepad out. We rapping now. So what's helping you get into that creative edge?
to be honest, it's more of a combination of things versus one thing. You feel me?
Help
It's
the
like
listeners, bro. Inform the listeners that want to be creative like us.
it's in a way, I guess, like people can always look at it as like a tornado or a hurricane is about to form. You feel me? You need the necessary elements in order to create this shit. For me personally, I have to get into a certain state of depression. For me, I hate to say it like that. You feel me? But like,
Nah, see, now we about to get somewhere because I was looking at it the other day and I was like, yo, why can't I get into that zone? And it was like, for me, it's like I have to be in that depressed, fuck the world, it's me
hmm
type situation for me to really get my juices flowing. That's funny
yeah.
you would say that, but go elaborate some more on that, man.
But yeah, it's basically that, like all in a nutshell. I have to, the depression has to be at a certain level. It can't be at 10, but if it's at a 6 or a 5, I can work. You know what I mean? Because I'm able to dip into that bag and able to dip out of it. But also, it just depends on like the motivation or just how bored I am really. You feel me? Like it's a lot of shit inside this world that can
A lot
actually
of
just
fuel.
take my attention off of shit. You feel me?
But
So it's
you feel like when you on that edge inside that lowly bubble, because if you are a creative person and you are listening to this, you know exactly what we talking about. That state that you
hmm
can take yourself in. What he's saying by that 6 or that 10, it's a very very crazy line to thread sometimes. Because if you take it to the 10, you not creative no more. You just in that sad shit where you like, man, fuck this. It don't
yeah,
even matter. Like, why am I
yeah.
doing this shit? Like, I'm not gonna get nothing from this shit. So you do have to walk that line. So I 100%.
It's being a tortured soul. That's why they say a lot of comedians and a lot of artists are really tortured souls because like they walk that fine line of knowing what the fuck reality is and also still that side of optimism. You feel me? And that's what art really is to me. Like it's that side of optimism, but reality. You feel me? You can just flip it into many different ways and interpretations. You feel me?
Let me ask you what was the first piece or artistic expression you might have seen in paint form that made you want to get into it? Was it a thing, or did you just see something and you was like, man, I could do that, and then started doing it and
Um,
fell in love with it?
it was back in the early, I want to say mid '90s. It had to have been like I want to say '97, '98, so late '90s actually. My brother, he's always been my influence when it comes to art. You feel me? And it was just seeing him and his homies and shit, and just being a little nigga, just running around. You feel me? The older kids and shit like that. These niggas getting into spray paint, graffiti, and tagging shit. You feel me? So like being out at like the age that I was around, like motherfucking 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. All these niggas is doing is smoking fat ass Philly blunts, spray painting and tagging shit, you feel me, in the middle of downtown or just over west somewhere and shit, you feel me? It's just that's the culture of I guess hip hop and the art that I've been indulged in, you feel me? So when I look at certain shit for real, I just gravitate towards that and shit.
My bad.
Oh, no, you good. You good,
I
G.
totally see what you're saying, especially in the sense of like, it's the difference when you like when you introduce to something as a kid because it gets your antennas a little going a little differently,
Not
especially when
only
you
that,
in
it
it and you
it
feeling like
kind of become it. Like it's somewhat a part of you, especially when you get into it as a kid. You feel me?
yeah, because you're growing up with it,
Mm-hmm.
and that transition into you loving painting and stuff like that.
Um, like as I got older, for real, like
You
I
needed
figured
more
out I
outlets
had
to express.
not really outlets. I kind of figured I wouldn't say I had a talent. I kind of had a talent of just sketching. You feel me? That was just my shit. So it was just painting. It was kind of like the next evolution into sketching. You feel me?
Right.
Learning how to do like water brush painting and shit like that. Yeah, shouts out to my nigga Bob Ross on that shit. Yeah, he got me into water brush painting and shit. You feel me? Just learning cuz in a way, since I couldn't spray paint
Mm-hmm.
in my house and shit cuz it was kind of frowned upon and shit,
And
I
you
had to
might
find a yeah, I might get like kicked out or just get my ass fucked up for real, you feel me?
die in that
Like
motherfucker with all them
yeah, like
fumes.
my nigga, it's hella stories of my mom's and my brother going at it with the spray paints. Like my brother completely did the whole attic, you feel me?
Mm.
And it was the toughest shit ever, but like, back then, moms ain't having that shit. And still till this day, you feel me? Like can't ain't nobody doing that shit in nobody mom's house and shit, you feel me? So fuck all that shit. But back then and shit, my nigga, like it was just
Expression.
that just yeah, it was just the ultimate form of expression, you feel me?
I think I think my creativity started when well I think I've always been creative, but on that edge part where it's like I'll say I think I pulled my creativity probably too from my older sibling because
Okay.
I'm into like the computer designing and stuff like that. But I'm looking at it like my older cousin that I consider a brother was wildly into this shit from programming computers and all that other shit, and just seeing him do it. It was amazing. It was like a wizard, and I'm sure you probably had that
Mm.
same feeling with your brother. Like, damn, this nigga's
Yeah.
good.
Seeing this nigga just the science of just using different caps, you feel me? Just knowing like different caps can give you different outlines and shit. I'm quite sure it was the same way with you.
Right.
Just with the different
Little
programs and shit,
insights
just
and then
different.
like it's like
Yeah.
wow, shortcuts everything. So he probably like and that's the important thing that us as creators we have to do. Like sometimes when we in that loner bubble that we get into, it might be somebody else watching that might want to be into it or want to do that, and we kind of like
Hmm.
so zeroed in on our shit that we just like I can't explain this to you right now because it's so much to explain. Like
That's why the best thing to do is just tell them to just watch. Just do what I do, just watch.
right.
Because once you observe, you can kind of get an understanding. You feel me?
It's not even an understanding no tone. It's the wanting. Like when we
Mm.
seen it, our eyes were so wide. Like, yo, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. How do I do this? I don't
Hmm.
know if people. I will say people. I don't know if they still. I'm not gonna say all, but it's not like it is in the masses. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't much to do back then, early on. So you kind of develop little different skills. Like I remember I used to skateboard, I used to BMX, all of that shit, and it's just like it was out of seeing somebody else do it, being outside, and invoking something inside you. Like I could do that.
I mean, but I don't know, like, cause in a sense, like for us, see, it's kind of weird, like in the black community. You feel me? Cause like in a sense, skateboarding and shit. Cause I can at least attest from my coming up, and I get at least speak from yours too. You feel me? We kind of have the similar background of coming up and shit. You feel me? So like
Right.
skateboarding and shit and other like sources of outlets and shit like that was kind of frowned upon. You feel me? That was considered white boy shit. You
Exactly.
feel me?
And that's why
So
I
like
think
it
my
came with a
Brody for that
limited
shit.
range.
And not only that, it's hard to get a skateboard. It's even
It
harder to get a
is,
good skateboard. Like it's a
nigga.
difference.
What?
It's a big
It's a
difference from
difference
the joint
between
in
that bitch from
Walmart.
motherfucking. I was just about to say that, bro.
But even inside, like since you got into that lane, I'll say this too. Even inside of our culture, you can't sometimes fully get into different creative lanes because of the stigmatisms that come with certain things. Like, say you want to be, I won't say, I'll say back then, for example, if you were like a younger kid and wanted to learn how to do sewing and make dresses or pants and clothes, people would have looked at you a little weird. Like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Why you want to
Oh yeah,
make
of
clothes?
course.
But the skill now, if you'd have had it, build it from then, would be impeccable right now. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, but I guess it depends on the individual because I
Yeah,
can't
you
really
can always
say
do what you want, like no matter what. Like, yeah,
unless
hell yeah.
yeah, but unless the kid was inspired by like Damper Dan or some shit, you feel me? Then I can be like, all right, I understand, little homie, your passion and dream and shit. But like, if it's just off some whole other shit, then I can understand why people could question it. You feel me?
But it's like you won't. I won't say you won't get to see it. Like you might see your cousins or your sisters or your mom or something sitting down with a sewing machine, and it doesn't pique the same interest because of what comes with it. I'm
Mm.
saying that in a creative way. Like you could really want to do it, but then it's like or you could try to do it, and then all it takes is somebody, man, you doing that? What the fuck? And as a kid, you so impressionable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
totally take away your your creativity lane. Think about how many kids want to play football, how many kids want to play basketball, how many kids, you know what I mean, like want to rap.
Hmm.
All are great ways to express yourself and all stuff, but it's a million lanes that you could get into and really, really fall in love with something. It
See,
just
but
seems
we
like
limit.
we there you go. We limit
Yeah.
our kids creatively or our community creatively, or at least sometimes, because
You know
we
how
always
rare
gonna
it is
find
to
a way.
find a young black child that can actually play an instrument now. Not taking away the simple fact that like a lot of schools are taking away musical programs and shit. But like, I can remember at one point. Matter of fact, we are the last generation that I can actually say remember knows how to play instruments. You feel me? And it's so few of us.
But that's just the see. Well, now we stumbled upon some because now we in a talk where it's like that's because we don't have the financial infrastructure to support stuff like that, like buying a bunch of flutes and horns and all this other stuff. And it's sad because of how it's all structured.
I can't even say that nowadays, yo. I mean, I can understand like schools, for instance, but like when it comes up to the household,
But that's because a lot of kids not in church too. Like I came up in the church, so you was around the drums, you was around the keyboards, you was around different stuff where you could play around, get in front of some microphones, all of that stuff too.
yeah,
Now, if you have that completely stripped away from you and you're not getting it at school, you know what I mean? Like, where else you
I
gonna
feel
get
what
it?
you're
And you
saying.
ain't got the readily accessibility to it. Like, it's kids out here and it's young teens out here and it's young adults out here who
Because
really
my
don't
only
have
access
access
to it
to
was my
anything,
grandfather.
yo. But you can make something out of nothing if you really, really, really passionate about it. But you
Oh yeah,
you
for
need the
sure.
seeds planted though, and I feel like we don't have the seedlings out there for different shit.
I mean, we kind of do. You feel me? It's some little spot. Like
Yeah,
when you see some I say like these new social media outlets for real, like you got a lot of kids making something out of nothing off of that.
yeah.
You feel me?
A phone, making
Mm,
empires off the phone.
I mean, but that can only go for so far. And when you look at, I don't want to like seem like I'm hating or nothing, but like a lot of the shit that all these kids do is just basically the same shit that somebody did on an old platform previously. You feel me? So it's the same shit over and over and over, just repackaged.
So you saying nobody's coming with nothing
There's nothing
innovative?
creative no more. Yeah, there's nothing innovative. Again, it's at least that it's we're entering that realm. Like you know the phrase "there's nothing new under the sun."
Uh huh.
Like I think we're actually coming into that era.
I won't look at it like that, man. Cause then it's like that sucks if you think of it that way.
I hate to say it. Yeah, that's why I said I hate to say it like that, but it's kind of true because a lot of shit is predictable nowadays.
It is like I hate watching movies and TV shows because it's like
Yeah,
I'll sit there and be like, this is the plot, this is who did it, and this is how it's about to go.
and for damn sure if it doesn't end like that, like
It's like, come on, bruh. Like,
That was me playing The Last of Us, bro. Like no bullshit. I was like, okay, this is how it starts. I guarantee this is about to happen. She's gonna catch up with them, and then this is gonna happen. Oh wow, I knew that was gonna happen. You feel me?
it's
It was just
lazy
shit like
writing,
that.
lazy
Yeah.
writing, and it's because we don't really give people a chance to. We don't give people a chance to be creative nowadays. It's like you fail or you try something different, and then you get criticized and ridiculed, and it's like who wants to catch those bullets? You
I
got
don't
to
mean no
stand on your
harm
own, I
though.
guess. I guess you can't really look at this shit like, man, fuck it. I know we do. We look at our show like, man, to an extent, we won't try to hurt or offend anybody, but we look at it like, man, it's just us being creative. We talking this our shit. We, you know what I mean? But people don't really feel like that now. It's like
Hmm.
it's hard to come by.
Yeah, I mean, well, creativity comes with a limit nowadays too, because like,
Yeah, there you go.
and when it comes down to it, like it's what inspires your culture might offend another culture, and a lot of people. And we're living in a super hypersensitive era, you feel me? Where the slightest thing can just offend somebody. You feel me? Even if it's based in all truth, it can just still offend people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, and it's like, but you can't get mad at somebody for feeling a way about something somebody said. Like you
Yeah,
have that right to feel that way. I
you
can't
can
take that
never
away
like
from you.
try to, yeah, you can never judge somebody off their reaction,
But like
especially.
inside of like something where somebody's being creative and expressive, like comedy, like a satire piece, like something that's trying
Mhm.
to hold a mirror toward a reflective surface or something like that to show niggas how crazy or how insane we've gotten or something like that. Like if it's like that and it's creative, then yeah, I understand.
It should always be a mirror reflected to show the message.
You
If it's
can't
in that type of manner,
and you can't please everybody.
you can't.
I
But
guess
if you show that mirror and that reflection of, I guess, the message, the damage control in that, it's somewhat doable. You feel me? That's why satire always works in some case when they make fun of people in certain situations, because it's always a mirror to reflect on the situation at hand to reflect on it. You feel me?
yeah, and that goes into the same thing. Like being creative does have an edge to it. On another version of the creative edge thing that we talking about, yeah, like you have to sometimes be edgy in your creativity because that's what pushes the next step, the edge of it.
Hmm.
You have to keep going to
Hmm.
get the conversations going. Like or see something like, well, they doing this, let me go do this. It might
Think
not
about,
work. It might work. Let me
yeah,
see. Let me go
my
step out on
favorite
that edge.
my favorite era of painting, since we're gonna get into our art bag and shit, is I believe it was the Japanese Edo period when they started experimenting with was it ukiyo-e or ikiyo-e paintings and shit like that. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation and shit, but
Sorry to
it was
our
our
listeners over there, yeah,
Japanese.
because we definitely
You
got them.
feel me?
We apologize.
But it was basically the practice of like a brothel girls and basically live nude models. You feel me?
Hmm.
And at that time, but like for portraits like that to even exist, you had to cop them bitches at the red light district and shit like that. And those and at that time in those eyes, that was saying it was frowned upon. You feel me?
Them
Nudity
shows very
was,
frowned upon.
yeah, it was considered a sacred thing. You feel me? So like just seeing the evolution in that and seeing how they pushed the boundaries and just settle art back then. Because when you look at Japanese art, it's refined to a certain extent. You don't even see nudity like that. You feel me? Until you get deeper and deeper into that shit.
Hmm. I gotta get into my art bag some more. I've just started recently getting into like paintings and stuff like that. I think when I get a house, I'm gonna start collecting.
I gonna lie, I'm thinking about getting some my damn self. Like I want to have like a universal wall. You feel me? Just one wall of this, one wall of
Yeah,
that,
just a
one wall of
vibe.
this.
I want to like a vibe,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. Just come in and see stuff that just I don't
Hmm.
know, just beautiful things. You know what I mean? Like when it's like when you see certain art, and I think we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. But I think even inside of music, I'll say we losing our creative edge because like when you see art, when you hear music, when you see pictures, when you see it, it does something inside your soul. It triggers it when you see a good piece or something that resonates with you.
Yeah.
You can hear a song and that shit can move you to tears. You can see a
Yeah.
piece of art that's so beautiful, it moves like so to trigger an emotion in somebody. They used to do it with movies and TV shows where this is a piece, something that somebody created or something that somebody thought of, and it was so moving, so inspirational, so touching that it triggered a whole sense and a rush of emotions inside of a person, another human being. So that's why art can be like all the arts are like just that expression, and I think that's what we missing when we don't have that edge to it. Like you hear songs, they come and go, they don't have that same like shit that just punch you in the chest or shit that had you loading your nine or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, where is
Let
that
me
going?
let me ask you a quick question. Since we on that type of note, do you feel as though today's artists, or when it comes, I guess when referring to artists, like far as like rappers and shit like that, a lot of them niggas are not truly artists? Because if that's the case,
I
they're
can't
just
say that
motherfuckers just
because
spitting out shit. You feel me? Because
I can say it is a lot. It is a lot of them, but I won't say all of them. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is a lot that do just come in the
okay,
booth and spit some bullshit. Like, I feel like the Lil Pump, the Smoke Perp dudes, when they was coming in, they didn't really respect it, but I think the reason why the other people, because I'll be honest, a lot of niggas came in not respecting it. Yachty was one of them, saying, "Man, he don't listen to that old shit." I think
yeah.
a few other newer rappers came in talking big shit. Uzi, a lot of people in that camp, and it was just like, damn, wow, these are niggas that paved the way to put you in this position. How you gonna turn around and spit in their face and all this other shit?
See,
But
Uzi a little different because Uzi can actually rap.
I won't. I'm not saying that, but like I'm saying like in the sense of like the traditionalism of it. You get what I'm saying? Like you
Okay,
can't.
okay. Like niggas turning down a preem beat and shit. That.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
To speak what you were saying, yeah, I feel like niggas is artists, but it took time for niggas to, I guess, develop into their art. Like once you develop who you are as an artist, like Uzi's Uzi now. He's situated himself. He got his sound because Uzi's a creative nigga. You knew he was gonna make it. Same
Okay,
thing with
this
Bolt. Same thing. It didn't really work out with Smoke Perp and you see what I'm saying? It didn't work out with Smoke Perp and Lil Pump because they weren't really in it.
this leads to a good conversation I had with my cousin
Or
because you know my cousin
Blueface.
is a producer for real. And me and him was arguing about today's artists needing artist development, like how back in the old days was. You feel me?
Right.
You'll probably hear an artist back in 2001, but you won't get no shit from this nigga till like 2004 or 5. You feel me?
Yeah, you like a nigga get a deal and you won't hear from him for at least 5 years,
Yeah,
three,
yeah.
4, 5 years, something like that. Because they got him in the lab
Mm-hmm.
writing for people, singing hooks,
Now,
melodies for people, getting niggas on. So then when you get to the top, so what was the conversation though?
the conversation was basically does the game, does the industry need artist development? Do you feel as though it's necessary? I'm on the side that I feel is it's necessary. You feel me?
I say yes and no. I say
Okay.
yes because these artists come into this shit very unpolished across the board. Like they're not media trained, they're not
Mm-hmm.
savvy, they don't know how to conduct interviews, they don't know how to sell anything, they don't know how to market themselves. So yes, but the hinge about this new rap game or new music game is you have to come in with your own platform. You get what I'm saying? So you don't
Right.
really need it if you already have your platform. It's just about you need to know how to talk to your platform. It will go, your
Mm.
music would go a lot further if we had artist development, but in those stages now, when you have your platform and you making your music, these artists are coming to the table developed already. So it's not really needed as much, but it is.
I can't really say they already coming and developed because a lot of that, because I don't know, when I listen to like a lot of like new artists and shit like that, it's still a lot of shit that
Nothing
they're
with no
lacking.
staying power.
You feel me? Like they have the charisma for sure, but like charisma can only get you but so far.
Yeah,
You
you
feel
know.
me? And it's a shame because that charisma can lead on to the music, and then once you listen to the music about like 5 maybe 6 months later and shit, it doesn't hit the same.
And yeah, I'm realizing that too. A lot of the music lately don't hit the same, and that
Like
could be a
it's that
fact
old
of.
nigga saying it's microwave bullshit.
But you
I mean,
have
I
to
can at least
you have to compete where you're at. Like I don't know if like see for the young niggas, and I think J. Cole touched on it best, or like anybody you talk to any of the greats. If you come in with microwave bullshit, guess what they expecting, Tom? So how can you have time to cook? How can you sit back and have time to miss you when you came in on some, oh this no like you know what I mean? You slide past McDonald's, you don't really think about it like oh damn I had McDonald's like no I just came you enjoyed it and that's what it was what it was you know what I mean like that's over with.
I don't mean no harm. It's a lot of rappers that came in off of microwave bullshit, and then they actually sat down and locked down and made some shit popping.
But
And
who?
the best example I can, Young and May is the best example I can use of the
She
recent
didn't come in
crowd.
off no microwave bullshit though.
In a way, she kind of did because she doesn't like ooh, you feel me? And then
But
not
she
only just
okay,
that,
see nah
she
see
wasn't even trying to get trapped in that lane. You feel me? So
nah
when it
see
came down to it, she
I'm a
actually
different
sat
MA
down,
fan
buckled
though.
down.
I'm a different MA fan. See, I seen the lead up going into ooh. I've been following her for a long time. So for me,
Okay.
I seen the rise of it. Like I remember the first freestyle she dropped. Like I think it was right around the time my brother died or something like that, or right. It was around something where she was speaking about it. I was like, damn, shorty, nice.
Yeah, I
And then
only
I
knew
seen
about
it grow into
Young and
ooh.
May about her fighting Cardi B, and then next thing you know, ooh dropped like a couple of weeks later,
But no, yeah, she definitely set back on that.
allegedly.
I'm saying like somebody who I would say had some microwave bullshit is like Trinidad James. That all gold
Okay.
everything was like that was a quick one, or Panda maybe.
See, the thing about Panda and Designer, he had Pusha T backing him. And when you got a nigga like Pusha T backing you, you kind of think it will kind of throw the persona and perception. All right, this nigga might got some shit. Maybe to a nigga like me, you feel me?
Hmm.
Just off the cloth that Pusha T comes from. But it was, hey, it could have just been
But
a quick money
but that
grab.
goes into that. Like you would think, all right, yo, he would push your T. That's where the artist development will come into play. Like, well, Pusha, like, yo, this is what you need to do on this and this. That's where it will work. And then you can see these niggas sit down and turn the microwave bullshit into that next step. If that's what you're
True.
saying, yeah. But I feel like once these niggas, all right. So imagine this, right? You painting and you doing your thing and you blow up on your painting shit on your
Hmm.
own. Nobody helped you. You get with this label now, and or not a label, but you get with another artist and they giving you critiques or something like that. But it's like, man, I grew to this point doing this. I could listen to this dude and ruin my shit.
Mm.
Now
I
think about
mean,
it like this: like you coming from nothing and you made it. Can anybody
oh
really
yeah.
tell you anything at that point? Like, or that like these
Um,
these younger artists, can they?
it depends. It depends. And what I mean by
It's
that, like,
humble young. It's humble young artists too. So
yeah,
it's
but
not
like
like
it all depends when it comes from the artist and my craft. Like, far as painting, you feel me? I mean, regardless, every artist is sensitive about their shit. You feel me?
I think every
But like,
creative is, yo, like across the board, like with anything.
I can think like, far as like painting, if you in the same realm as me and you give me some criticism and shit,
Hmm.
I can kind of take it as learning from it. You feel me? Depending on how good you are. You feel me?
It's
Because
all
if I know you some shit and you critiquing me on my shit,
you gonna feel
I'ma
like it's
just look
hate.
at you like nigga, yeah, like nigga, what the fuck is this? Like, you feel me? But like,
So how do you
if
think
I'm
they
a fan
feel,
of
yo?
you,
What all could you get these younger artists that come in and like, and then the artist development shit.
a best example it would be Uzi and DJ Drama.
But you can't sit once you got the hit. Like that's it may prove you
Yeah,
can.
you can't sit
It
once you
may
got the
prove you
hit,
can
but
though.
is
She
niggas
did.
going to listen to your hit from like 2 to 3 years ago? That same hit.
No, they
The
won't.
thing of it is what the old school niggas I think figured out and mastered is long term equity. You feel me? Long term residuals. They thinking about the long term game, and that's what get a motherfucker surviving and moving. You feel me? Is the long term.
Let me ask you this, yo,
Mm-hmm.
and then we gonna get out of here because we going on a rant. But I think we in a good conversation flow, and I think they're getting a lot out of it. But why don't we see a lot of the? We do see it, but is it because the younger artists don't know about the older acts that they could probably pull from and use to help build some type
Yeah,
of song that could really drum up some shit that could last for them?
yeah. I mean, when you look at how the younger artists move, and it's basically
Is it
the
because they don't know
same.
about them?
Yeah, nobody done the homework. You feel me? Nobody done their
Because niggas
homework.
not students of
When you look at students of rock and roll and shit,
students of anything.
yeah, just students. Matter of fact, we gonna keep it in the music realm. You feel me? Students are like rock and roll and shit. When we listen to like these white boys get into that bag when it comes to rock and shit, they can give you that generation line of where they came from. You feel me? Leonard Skinner, motherfucking AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, all this shit all wrapped up into one. And that's that whole family tree that let these motherfuckers into this. You feel me? When you dealing with a nigga, one of these new littles and shit like this, you feel me? It's just there's no history. You can't. Matter of fact, better yet, what's the YBN nigga name?
Which one?
Almighty. And I think
Why be in
the
the
one I
mirror?
like, not Namir, the other one,
Why be in J?
Cordain. Almighty and Cordain cannot name at least 3 to 5 members in Wu-Tang. Shit like that is sad.
I mean, you don't
Nah,
have to, yo.
nah, you have to. You have to.
But
You
they've
have to
made
at
it so
least.
you don't.
It doesn't matter, my nigga. If you are in this culture, my nigga, you have to do the homework. It's important.
You know what I was watching recently, yo? Not to get off of that topic, but since we really having a full
And shouts out to
conversation and
Cordain.
shit.
You feel
Shouts
me? I
out to the
fuck with
whole
Cordain.
YBM, yeah, all them niggas, man. But I was watching. Do you watch My Expert Opinion?
Every now and then.
He had Loaded on the show, so Loaded Lux was basically breaking down just the early essence of battle rap, and what he was explaining was, see, it's listeners, man. If you listen to this, man, go check out Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion Loaded Lux episode. But he breaks down just kind of how the essence of like hip hop was like back then. All niggas really cared about was being nice. That's what it boiled down to. Was you nice? Can you rap?
Yeah.
Niggas not on that no more, yo, and that's where it's lost. So like,
And
you don't need to know your lineage and shit like that if that's not what you want. You know what I mean? You making songs and all this other stuff. Them niggas back then, they had to have that pen sharp and all this other shit because niggas might try you in some lyrical exercises and shit, and you had to
I
be there.
say it
That's
like
back
this.
when niggas was running up on niggas and niggas had ciphers and all this other shit. Like we got ciphers with the greats. You know what I mean? To see like you checking where niggas at.
I say like this. Because niggas don't know that lineage, it's a reason why niggas are still not popping the way they are. You feel me? Because it's a reason why I said, even though rock is it's a dying art form and shit
It's
like
not.
that.
We
You
took
feel
it.
me?
Look at
Did
Juice
we
World. Look
really?
at Uzi. We taking it. It's taking it over. Like
Did we really? Is
it's,
that really?
it's
See,
not
and,
that
and
form of it, but I feel like it's the new form of it.
it's
Everything
it's
got
the essence, but
a
at the
lot of
same
shit is
time,
having 808s and bouncing it now, yo.
but it wouldn't be considered rock. Ain't nobody playing no fucking instrument. You
That's
feel
true.
me?
That's definitely true.
Who's a rock star that we really saying hip hop besides Wayne? If we on that scale,
I mean, Uzi, he labels himself as a
Uzi,
rock star.
can Uzi play an instrument? I'm sorry, but until Uzi can play a bass or a motherfucking string or a set,
That's not true,
I ain't
yo.
hearing shit.
Because some of them lead
I'm
singers
sorry,
was just
yo.
lead singers, yo. You can't do that.
That is true, but at the
And
same damn time,
they
yo,
still rock stars.
that's true, yo. But at the same damn time, yo, niggas switched it up.
So
That's what I
have you heard
mean.
any like we really out here. Have you heard any MGK latest stuff? Him mixing a little bit of rock with the rap and shit. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
It's actually pretty good. I like it. I'm
but
like, it works, and he has that kind of works with the you know what I mean? That type of rapping. 'Cause
yeah, I mean,
not for
it's
nothing.
always gonna work.
niggas be rapping and rock too. Like, don't get it
Oh yeah,
twisted. Them niggas was
I
they was
mean,
spitting.
you got. I mean, but I mean, you got. That's the whole point of knowing lineage. You feel me? You got Jay-Z rocking with motherfucking Linkin Park back in
Yeah,
the day. You got
Travie McCoy,
yeah, you got Travis
Gym Class
McCoy, Gym
Heroes,
Class Heroes,
Linkin
all
Park.
types of shit. A lot of niggas don't know Tiger comes from that lineage. You feel me? That's why Tiger is able to come from back like banging out hits and shit like that.
Mm.
Tiger cousin is Travis McCoy. He can dig in that bag whenever he need to hear some crazy, some out of the world shit. You feel me?
Swiss wrote Limp Biscuit. Keep rolling. Like
You feel me?
so we can't say that then, yo. Like
But
we
it's a
there.
history of music. You feel
There
me?
you go.
It's a
Yeah,
history.
and I think that's what and even now, yo, like it. Even niggas that want to make beats though, you don't gotta play instruments because now you can get it in on the keyboard and shit. A
Yeah.
lot of niggas making beats on laptops and phones.
But it's certain sounds that you can get off an instrument that you
Yeah,
can't get nowhere else.
You
You
cannot
can't get nowhere else.
You cannot
If you
get.
play a fucking violin or a fucking guitar in like an open area when like
It's
but you're like
different.
surrounded
It's
by like a
different.
pavilion or some shit, it's
Different.
different. It's different. The acoustics in that bitch is different.
But are the kids into that?
No,
The BPMs is too high for these niggas. They can't sit still.
not even that. Everything is.
Have
That's
you
what
heard
I mean. Like there's no
there's no
creativity.
more slow songs. There's no more build up into a song.
That's what I mean. There's no more creativity because back then you had to say, "Shit, I really want to clap, but I really want this clap to echo. Where the fuck can I go that's isolated that can give me a nice echo with this acoustic? Do you feel me? Then a nigga would have to travel with a fucking microphone
Yeah, I was about to say dragging
to
all
some
types of
fucking
shit.
place.
A train station, something like that. Yeah, man.
That's
Has
why,
the-
like a
has
lot
the art
of
form
Pharrell
been
beats,
lost?
the art form, of course,
It can't be. I refuse to believe
It
it
is.
can't be.
it
There's still
is.
niggas out here putting pad to pen, putting
I
pen to
can't.
pad.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Do we gotta judge the new rappers on a different criteria?
We gotta hold them to the same standard that we have with everybody else too,
Can
and
we?
that's yeah, we have
But
to.
we putting them up against. I can't say ghosts because a lot of these niggas still living. We putting them against moments in
have to
time,
put-
yo. You
Yeah,
can't
that's-
compete with a moment though, yo.
What I mean by the moment in time, though, like at least, how should I say this shit? Like,
Who's creating moments right now? Let's
see, see, there we go.
outside
There
of Kendrick
we
Cole
go.
and Drake. Who's creating moments and
Who's
and the
making a standstill
subcategories?
besides motherfucking besides public appearances and you feel me, and shit like that? A lot of these niggas have to do.
The Migos making a splash. I get the homies their credit.
Yeah, Migos got the credit, especially being labeled like Black Beatles and shit like that. It's kind of big. You feel me?
That's very
Especially on the
big.
scale of where the Beatles is at. So when you got shit like that, that's kind of big.
I don't know,
But, like-
listeners. niggas on a rant. We just having a conversation. It's afterthoughts to some whole other shit. We hope you guys are enjoying the content we provide, and we're gonna go ahead and close it out. we'll be here for an hour. We'll be here for an hour. And I got to
Pretty
edit this,
much.
unfortunately, but I ain't gonna cut it too much. I'm gonna let most of this rock, and I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Don't forget to do what y'all do on the YouTubes and all that good stuff. We appreciate you, man. We really, really do. And,
Yes.
I really don't know how much y'all inspire us to stay on that creative edge and stay working. And man, we got so much shit coming for y'all guys. I'm telling y'all, like, just stay tuned because we really gonna take this thing over, and y'all gonna be happy that y'all was a part of the initial crop. Tone, go ahead and close this out, bro, while I hit this blunt.
To all the listeners, I hope you're drinking plenty of water. I hope you're smiling every day. You feel me? Stay happy. I know you grinning right now listening just because I'm saying that. Just take that moment. Just think, is this nigga watching me? And yes, I am. I'm watching you. I'm seeing you smile. And that's my closing statement.
We love you. Peace and love.
Bitches.